What up, YouTube? It is Manboy Pat yet again. I know I introduced myself this morning, but I had to knock this one out. I'm trying to get as many videos as I can onto my channel. That way I could build this thing up and actually get my foot into the door that is the mystical algorithm everybody likes speaking about. The only way I'm going to make it to your guys' algorithm is if I push these bangers out. So here we are. And tonight, I wanted to talk about the fact that good companies still exist. There was a point in my life, around my mid 20s, where I started to believe that good companies didn't exist anymore, that was a thing of the past, and that, you know, the world is just consumed with mega corporations and greed, and that everybody that gets into a position of power gets consumed by greed, or they own, due to the company politics, they know who to recruit, and then they end up putting like-minded individuals into the leadership positions, and we don't stand a chance. But over time, as I grew up and as I kept searching for different jobs, and I didn't just lock into a job I hate, I eventually did find that there are good companies. One was Two Brothers Moving in Bel Air, Maryland. It's no longer running. It was my old boss Adam's gig. He's now a very successful real estate agent, and he's loving that life. But back in 2021, from 2021 to 2022, he ran this moving company. It's called Two Brothers Moving, and it was a breath of fresh air from the other 11 jobs that I tried before running into him, because I tried hardscaping, and for those of you who don't know what hardscaping is, basically like stone and cement work, building walls and pavers and things like that. Um, my boss was a dick, um, and I don't think he was trying to be. It was just who he was. He was just very nitpicky, very nitpicky. Couldn't deal with him. Uh, didn't pay well, and I was grateful for the opportunity. He did teach me things. He taught me, how to properly do snow removal the professional way. He taught me how to build a brick wall or a stone wall. He was teaching me different things about landscaping, so it wasn't all bad. It was just the fact that I didn't get paid enough, I didn't get enough hours, and I didn't like his attitude. He always judged me because I smoked weed. And I always had that, like, ever since he found out that I smoked weed, like, there was always just this vibe about him. Like, the air was always just heavy with him. And yeah, I just didn't feel at home there, and I didn't like what I was doing. So I had to leave. And then a few other jobs after that, they just didn't want to pay enough. They wanted to give me an asinine amount of work for shit pay, and I guess they were thinking because I was applying for an entry level position that I was desperate for a job or something. But boy, were they fucking wrong, because they ended up having somebody, and basically just wasted their time hiring me when they could have hired somebody that actually would put up with that stuff. But the worst one, by far the worst, and it's ironic because it was actually my major in college, was working at this hotel. I wanted to gain some hospitality experience, since I was going for my bachelor's degree in hospitality management, which I did get. And yeah, they were paying me in 2020, paying me on the East Coast in Maryland, $11 an hour. And they wanted me to be the maintenance man. They wanted me to be the house man. They wanted me to be front desk. Basically, they wanted me to manage the fucking hotel for 11 an hour. Like, did they forget that this is America? Like, there's not a single person in America that's desperate enough for 11 an hour to take that. Anybody would commit crime before they take that fucking job. Like, at the very least, they could have at the least offered me 14 an hour, but they couldn't even fucking do that shit. Nah, they gave me 11 an hour, and then they wanted me to fix things around the hotel. They wanted me to maintain it. They wanted me to audit at nighttime. They wanted me to do breakfast crew some nights. Like, I get it. They were trying to get me like management experience and whatnot. But the experience ain't valuable enough for me to fucking take 11 an hour for more than 6 months. Like, you are crazy if you think that a friggin' 25-year-old male who's married with a child is gonna do that. Like, they really dropped the ball on that one. Whoever was reading my resume and whoever did my interview, I'm not even gonna name names, they messed up really bad. That was unbelievable. That was probably like the worst job I've ever had by far, and the most unrewarding, total waste of time. I wasted 2 months of my life doing that. It wasn't a good experience. It wasn't. I didn't get anything out of it. The only thing I got out of it was that I didn't want to ever be in hotels or hospitality. That's all I got out of it. But that's enough on that. I'll get off that ramble and get back to now. Leading up to Adam Monaco, after he dissolved his business, I had to find a new way to make money, and that's when I ended up doing Amazon Flex. I started doing it just out of my car, and you know, I liked it. You know, I love gig work. I love gig work. If I could just do gig work full time, I would, but it's just not practical. But yeah, definitely love that. Love doing deliveries. Love driving. And when I decided to move to Arkansas, I knew that I had to get some kind of driving job. And lo and behold, I gravitated towards the moving business again in the beginning with a moving company. Ended up being a kick-ass moving company out here in Arkansas too, which was great company number two. I stayed with them for 3 years before I just outgrew the position. It was more of like a lot of college kids that were working that job, so I had to go somewhere where I better fit in. And that's my current company now. I deliver Amazon packages, obviously, but a lot of my peers are, the ages of, 28 to 30. It's more my age group. It's not too many young people where I can't relate with people. But yeah, man, I'm enjoying life right now. I wish I got paid more. I get benefits. Hardly benefits. We already know how Medicare and all that's going right now. But overall, as far as companies go in today's economy, it is great. I've been here for 4 months. I don't plan on leaving. They always meet me halfway. Even when I make mistakes, they give me a chance to correct that mistake. They don't just come down on you. They're not after your job. They're not freaking waving a carrot and stick in your face. It's very fair. It's what I look for in a company. We have an agreement. I agree to help this company grow, and in return, they help my career grow. And that's all a person could really ask for. I help your company grow. You help me grow. Let's help each other grow. Let's be allies. Don't try to take advantage of each other. Let's not compete with each other. We already have competition with other companies. We don't need to compete with our peers and our employees. That's just ridiculous, dude. I'm sick of that. Like this hyper competitive world that we live in. I don't know if it's because the population is growing and they're just trying to find a way other than depopulating in order to combat this or what. I don't know. If anybody knows why we're competing so much with each other here, please leave it in the comments. Let me know. Somebody educate me on this, because I don't understand why everybody wants to compete with everybody. There's no reason why we can't all win. We can all win. We can all live the life that we want to live. Humans are just puzzle pieces in the puzzle that is the universe. And puzzle pieces have a spot where they fit without friction, without pushback, without pain, where you just slide in perfectly and you work towards the bigger picture. That's what we need to strive to do as human beings, whether it be at your job or whether it be at home. But I'll get off my soapbox. I keep derailing. And that's why I said in the first video that there's no real direction that this channel is going to go. It's just more of like what happened throughout the day, what thoughts were stricken throughout the day, what's on my mind, and how you guys perceive what is on my mind. That's really all I strive. Let me know what you guys think. Hope you guys got something out of this. And if you didn't, the one thing that you will leave with is that good companies do exist, good bosses do exist, good employees do exist, good coworkers do exist. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. They're there. I know tons of great people. I'm fortunate enough to have ran into some good companies. And yeah, man, you'll find it if you really want to find it. Just keep looking.